They have that kind of back and forth, which I could see slapping for kids. I could see that being like a scene where if we were in a theater with a bunch of kids, I could see that being laugh out loud funny. But we were in a theater with all adults, not a single child there, and it was great. We all had an adult bond in that theater.
It was just so quiet. Welcome everyone to the Two to Real movie review. My name is Richard.
My name is Austin.
Today we're talking about Zootopia 2, sequel to Zootopia, the smash hit of 2 years ago?
No, this came out like 2016. Zootopia, the first one.
Jesus. Oh.
Are you feeling old?
It hurts. I don't like that.
What do you mean 2 years ago? Yeah, 2016.
Oh, God. Oh, it hurts.
It's 2025 now.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that.
Did you know Cracker Barrel, they changed their logo at one point?
God damn it.
We're in the new century.
Oh, it hurts. But you know what doesn't hurt? This movie. This movie's cute. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about spoiler-free thoughts about the movie, tell you a little bit what's about the inciting incident, give our spoiler-free thoughts, then we're going to go into full spoilers, give you a little breakdown of what happened in the book. Movie. And we'll get right into it.
I can't wait for Zootopia 3 to come out in 2035 as well. Every decade, a new Zootopia movie seems to be the trend. Can you believe that? It's been 9-10 years since the last one.
I clearly don't.
Yeah.
I clearly don't.
You said 2 years.
I, for some reason, thought this was... I now, like, that you said it, I'm like, yeah, of course. But also...
In your head, no, not
in
my
head, no.
Yeah.
It's only been like 2 years.
Oh, the first Zootopia, I really like that movie. Really good movie and fun. I remember thinking back to it as kind of unique. In I guess watching it a decade ago, it stood out as I didn't know if it was a different animated studio. It didn't feel Pixar, you know.
Sure,
and it's because this one is this one Disney animation? It's not Pixar, right? I will double check that.
It's not Pixar, no.
So the studio for this, let me double check. It's Walt Disney Animation Studio, okay, but not Pixar because those are different. And so it's a little bit different and a little bit unique. But this Zootopia 2, we had to go see it because we saw it in the box office over the weekend. It's the fourth highest grossing box office weekend of all time. Globally. You had the first three, it goes Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, number 3 was, I know number 5 was like Fate and the Furious, which was the fifth one. Number 3, I forget what number 3 was, but this was number 4.
Either Titanic or not Titanic, but probably Avatar.
No, it would come to me as soon as you said it, but I will. Here, I'll check right now. 1 second. Of course, Spider-Man: No Way Home. So the top three are all those Marvel blockbusters, and then you have Zootopia 2. How crazy is that? It's the first animated film to hit that top 5 ever for an opening weekend. So we had to go see it, and already it's made back. It's $150 million budget and way more. It's hit over $400 million just on the opening weekend. And, you know, you have your returning actors and actresses. Jason Bateman. Ke Huy Quan is in this one as a snake. The Snake.
The Snake, yeah.
I love me some Ke Huy Quan. You know, Everything Everywhere at Once. Love him. But yeah, so this movie, Rich, what would you say, spoiler-free pitch for it, of what do people expect going into Zootopia 2?
Okay, so with the first one, you're expecting this buddy cop duo between Rabbit and a fox, and their kind of banter-like relationships. They learn to work together. You get more of that. That's what this movie is.
Yes.
It's just more of the things that you liked in the first one. That's really it. A lot more therapy talk. But
there is therapy in this, yes.
That's about it of what you should expect going into the movie.
Yeah, it's a little somewhat the same. There's a bit of similar overlap in themes, and you still get to see your Zootopia, a bunch of different animals, and this time what you get at the beginning, instead of predator versus prey, it's all the mammals, and then there's these reptiles out there. What are these reptiles? Because the very first mission you see in the opening sequence of the movie is our buddy cop duo, Bunny and Fox, Nick and Judy. Right? They're going after this. They're going after this person who's smuggling something. They're hiding something. And as they're going to solve this case, they see reptile skin. Oh no, what is that? It looks like the skin of a snake or something. and they go to pursue this, and all of a sudden, oh, there's reptiles. The bad, evil reptiles. What do we do here? But there's more to it than just that. And that's your setup for the movie. And with Zootopia 2, they play with this animal theme a lot, and it's a bit allegorical in some way. I mean, it stretches the line of maybe not a direct allegory, but it's allegorical to human affairs. That's how the first movie worked. Second movie works very similarly. Super fast paced. I mean, very. It's the plot's so fast. They're like, hey, let's just cut to the chase. Let's just forget showing all the boring stuff. Just go. They're children. Come on, go.
Yeah.
So. Or in our case, adults who also go.
Adults that go watch the sequel to children's movies.
Yes, which hey, I love children's movies.
Hey, every once in a while we get a Puss in Boots 2. I'm always on the lookout for the next Puss in Boots 2. It's all worth it.
Puss in Boots 2 is one of my favorite movies.
I know, it's perfect.
Now, was this Puss in Boots 2 level? What's your spoiler-free review for Zootopia 2? What would you give it out of 5 stars?
I give it a 3.25. Somewhat good.
I also gave it that.
Yeah.
3.25, somewhat good movie. Yeah.
Now, if you want to stop here, like, hey, should you take your kids to go watch the movie? Yeah, go take your kids. Kids will enjoy it. Parents won't hate their time. They'll find it cute.
Yes.
Go watch the movie. It's pretty good.
Certainly worth the ticket, worth the price of admission.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fun entertainment. And if you want to see our full scores down below, here is that for Zootopia 2. Mm-hmm. Do you agree as well? Did you like the first one better than the second one?
I mean, I watched it roughly when it came out.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah, no, I like the first one a bit more.
Yeah.
But fair. I didn't love the first one either. So
okay.
It's not like I was obsessed with the first movie and then this one's a big letdown there. It's a minor difference to me.
It's in the same ballpark.
Yes.
Par. Got it. Okay. Well, do you want to go into spoilers then?
Yeah, let's go right into it.
Here we go. Spoilers for Zootopia 2. If you don't want to hear any more, this is your time and chance to click off. Go check it out. All right.
Plot snapshot.
Plot snapshot. Yes, we left off with that inciting incident of the reptiles. What's going on with them?
So what happens in the movie is effectively Judy Hopps and Nick Wilder, they stumble onto a conspiracy that ultimately means these Lionels that are in charge of the winter zone of Zootopia actually stole this weather-changing technology from the snakes. And they've hid it in this journal. And if Judy Hopps and Nick are trying to help this snake uncover the truth and basically being able to bring the reptiles back into Zootopia. Mm-hmm. And along the way, one of the people helping them now is Milton, one of the Lionels that seems to be working against his family he's the outcast of the family, but we actually find out he's betraying them. He's ultimately trying to find the proof that the snakes actually own the weather technology to then destroy it to save his family.
The document must be destroyed, yes.
To become a true part of the family. And Milton doesn't succeed.
Because they make friends along the way. They meet the beaver. They meet the snake.
Exactly. And they also release basically all the criminals. That's neither here nor there. That's sequel stuff. That's sequel potential. But
throughout all the shenanigans, they get split up in the midpoint of the movie where there's this chase sequence that happens on the top of a hill in this mansion where this is where Judy Hopps discovers the background of what's actually going on here. And that's where the snake and Milton take Judy and they're like, okay, we're going to go do this now. We're going to burn it. And when they do get to this, it's actually a very climactic sequence. And it was more than I remember from the first movie, very Marvel-esque in that way. Maybe that's why it's doing so well in the box office too. It had your very slow emotional beat in the end where the snake was shriveling up on the cold and saying, Judy, it's okay. And Judy had venom in her, going, "Oh my God, are they going to kill off this character in a kill movie or in a kids movie?" And they end up making it with the help of friends, and they get the document and lock up the bad guys.
Yeah,
that's the plot snapshot in general. But do you want to get into then emotional impact?
Let's go right into it.
What did you give that out of 5 stars?
A 3. I was neutral.
Fair.
I didn't really feel much either way.
3.5, good.
Yeah, that's good.
I had a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what stuck out to you?
I just got a little bored sometimes, and I was just kind of, I think I almost doozed off a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
I didn't, But I think I was just a little bit bored.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think they did? They did in the middle that had you almost doze off, or was it just the generic stuff, or could you remember? Was it a sequence that you didn't like?
Basically, between between Judy Hopps get like, oh, there's the snake. The snake got the journal, or Judy's got the journal, and up to the point where they're on top of the mountain, and Judy and Nick split. That whole section dragged a bit for me.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that would be where I was. And all the emotional, big, heavy beats, they were well executed. I can't really complain about it. It just didn't move me at all. So
with this movie in particular, I think the beats it's going for, obviously, that it's for kids.
Yeah,
and you get that you get that kid humor a lot, and there's the one scene that sticks out to me is when the beaver's talking to the, I don't want to get it wrong, walrus, seal, whatever was coming out of the water. Dang. Actually, that there's a joke made a scene earlier where the fox Nick walks by this juggling, and he calls it a seal. Actually, a sea lion. Isn't it actually a sea lion, but calls it a seal, and then gets really pissed at Nick for misspeciesing it, apparently. But then there's that scene I'm actually talking about where the beaver is talking to the sea lion. God damn it! Look at me. I'm a speciesist too. It's talking to the.
Yeah, I think that's an actual. It's a walrus. No.
Walrus, right?
Yeah, walrus.
Yeah. See, look at us. See, we're doing the same thing that the fox did, and they're going like. They have that kind of back and forth, which I could see slapping for kids. I could see that being like a scene where if we were in a theater with a bunch of kids, I could see that being laugh out loud funny. But we were in a theater with all adults, not a single child there, and it was great. We all had an adult bond in that theater.
It was just so quiet. I appreciated it.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun. It was also 9 at night, so maybe too late for kids to actually be there.
That was probably the bigger reason.
That was a bigger reason. But yeah, so for the emotional moment, it's going for that, hey, funny, laughter, really fast-paced. There's that moment I was talking about in the plot snapshot where it slows down a bit, and you get those emotional character moments between Bunny and Fox and their therapeutic relationship throughout this movie. Do you think it kind of nailed that, or do you more neutral on it?
I'm really neutral.
Overall,
okay. Especially with the relationship between Nick and Judy. I know it's trying to hit for something harder. Didn't land as well for me.
Gotcha.
And we can get into it a little bit with thought-provokingness
and all
mainly.
that stuff. Yeah. I'd say just overall the good thing is that this is where the recommendation comes from. I think it's like good blind entertainment, and maybe is there a scene that was funniest to you? Because maybe a fun line for me was that when I think the fox was saying like, hey, I had a traumatic childhood, and the cop goes, well, do you want a traumatic adulthood? Like, that was good. That was a funny line.
That was a good
line. That was like a
line.
little threat of, hey, I'm going to beat your ass, Fox. There's some funny
That's a
quips
great
like that.
That's a great line to just use in life. Like the minute someone opens up to you of like, man, I had a real traumatic childhood. Just clapping back with, you want a traumatic adulthood?
I'm going to use that now.
I'm going to use it. I can't wait for one of my friends to actually emotionally open up to me to just lay that line down. I can't wait.
You definitely learned the wrong message from the movie, and it's great. We all did. So there's fun lines like that. Yeah, it's also so fast paced that for me it was hard to get bored by it. So I wasn't bored by it just because each scene was happening so quick. Which again, leaning into the kids aspect of the movie, but we get so many sequences in this film where we're going to the outskirts of mammal land where we met the seal and that whole sequence. Then we go to the reptilian underground as well, and right there then we're jumping into it. Just felt it was going and going and going. Zootopia 1 also had that to it as well. But yeah, that's all I have to say for it. I think it hit the right beats it's going for. But
yeah,
do you want to go on to thought-provokingness?
Yeah, let's go into it.
What did you give it out of 5 stars?
2.5. Disappointing.
I also did. I gave it 2.5. Disappointing.
Right off the bat, I think the first one being about The first one's mostly about prejudice, preconceived notions, and being able to work with people that are different than you functionally, and just them having to develop this partnership and realizing that both of them have, very different personalities, but doesn't make particularly one right or the other. It's just they have to kind of work together. And then especially the bigger one being Judy overcoming her, like saying, "Hey, I'm going to fight the prejudice of bunnies being, seen as weak, and I'm going to be a police officer. I'm going to be strong."
Mhm.
And then her being afraid of Nick as a predator. And so trying to fight her prejudice while also being prejudiced herself, that whole thing.
From the first movie?
That's the first movie,
Mhm.
which I think this movie touches on almost all of those beats in just kind of a worse way. So in this case, it's now all mammals prejudiced against reptiles. I don't think that's really handled or touched well at all. It's mentioned, but you don't see any of the actual instances. The thing that is most memorable from the first movie is when Judy's actually scared of Nick. They've been working together, and then he does something, and she becomes terrified and pulls out like her mace or whatever to spray Nick, and going like, "See, there it is," and Nick confirming that she actually is scared of him. This movie doesn't have any of that, even though
It's harder when it's their relationship too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about somewhat tangentially about the prejudice against reptiles, but that's not really handled at all. Then it's focused more on their relationship itself, of their dysfunctional partnership. And I think maybe it's supposed to, I don't know. It felt like both of them had their issues, right? They're supposed to both have their issues, and then they work on it together and try to better conform to the other and have a compromise. And for a while there, it did seem like, for the most part, Judy is mostly in the wrong here, of being incredibly overbearing to Nick, throwing him in danger, Nick saving her, and then her it's your fault. You constantly pushing and lying and all the stuff to manipulate him. And eventually it's just not really addressed. It's still Nick has to apologize completely, even though he is in the wrong of not, trying to give up on things, but it felt off. What do you think about that? I think their relationship problems were just a little off.
So yeah, there's two things there. Do you want to talk relationship thing or the overall theme of the prejudices?
Well,
which one first?
I find it tied together because I thought the theme of the whole thing was about dysfunctional relationships and working to compromise and emotionally open up to your significant others in your life, right?
Oh yeah. I'm also talking about the theme against the reptiles.
Let's start with the reptile thing.
Yeah, because that first part you mentioned about the reptiles, that was also the more disappointing part about it. I think it also retreaded the first movie, but in a not less fun, but just less impactful way. Because in the first film, you get that direct relation between, oh my goodness, that's your friend who you are prejudiced against, which added that extra layer. In this one, because the plot's moving at breakneck speed, we get a mention and a cursory glance of, hey, the reason that everybody is feeling this towards reptiles is the antagonists of this film, who are very, mustache twirling, greedy villains, which doesn't help into the thought-provoking nature of it. But they pin this on the Snake family and their family name. And then how the movie explains it is, after that, then all the reptiles were kicked out and prejudiced against. That's our mention of the prejudice. It's like, okay,
yeah,
got it. Which you get
it's a kid's movie.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah, it's fast tracking.
But all right.
Yeah, it's fast tracking. Plus, when you can compare this to the first movie, where the first movie explored that prejudice between predator and prey, it does that. And hey, accept people that are different from you. Even though you're a bunny, you can do this. And then the second movie is doing that, but to reptiles, to opening up. It's talking about a bit more about historical prejudice and looking at, hey, look at the history of a place. And actually, you were being lied to. This wasn't them. And so you get, again, the bit of allegory that's there of, what are you talking about in the real world? I get it. I understand. Yeah. So it's there, but it's just more surface level. Hey, and again, kids' movies. But I keep saying kids movie. Puss in Boots 2 is 5 stars for thought provokingness. Okay,
That's
Pinocchio
the thing.
2. There's
kids movies
plenty
can
of
do.
Wall-E. Okay,
Oh,
so
God,
there's
yes.
so many kids movies where I would give it 5 stars thought provoking. Coco, my God. Okay, there's endless movies, but that's all my because
Yes.
Hey, if you're listening to an hour review of a kid's, we love doing this, and I'm going to take it seriously when it comes to the themes. Okay, this is so.
If anything, I think the number one goal for a kids movie in general is if you nail the theme that works on one level for kids at a certain age, that they can get something out of it, fantastic. But the other side of that is having a good theme and message that adults will actually enjoy because they're watching it with the kids. Kids are not like if you're doing this whole movie, generally you want to make a movie that the parents are not going to be annoyed watching either. That's the best part of a kids movie. It should be watched by both age groups, and especially the movie that works well of multiple ages, where a kid as they grow up can rewatch this movie and get a little bit more out of it and find the more nuanced take that the parent already sees in it. That's the best case scenario. That's what we're shooting for. That's the goal. This one falls a little flat.
Even though this has on critics has a 92% Rotten Tomatoes and audience is a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, very high, and a lot of kids movies will get those higher marks.
Yeah.
However, I do think this is going to be one 10 years from now maybe isn't looked as timeless as the first, at least, and just a hunch. Maybe that's just me.
I think
but
so.
So that's the first part with the differences, it being a little bit of the same from before, but also
It's not handled.
Even in a vacuum, it's not handled extremely well.
Well, with the first one, it's prejudice, like, hey, societal prejudice, but then we take that into our main characters and show how they are prejudiced, and like we explore that through the character.
Yeah.
In this one, it's just societal prejudice, and it's not brought into our characters at all. The only mention is Nick at one point saying, like, I'm uncomfortable around reptiles. And even then, I don't know if he may have said that in jest, and it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole scene of him being, like, freaked out about different reptiles. But that's it. It's never mentioned again.
It's they have to eat the worms scene.
Sure.
Well, this is a strange custom that you do here, and then it's all played off as the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's mainly what that part is. And as far as the relationship that the second part goes between their therapy and them growing a bond and seeing how different they are, but that makes them opposites attract in that way.
Yeah.
That their differences bring them closer, and it's okay to be different from one another. So that part, you said that the bunny's character, Judy's character, was more in the wrong. Could you say that again? Of what do you mean by more in the wrong than the fox?
Well, in general, the whole dysfunctional part is she lies to Nick. She keeps pushing him into different scenarios that make him incredibly uncomfortable. Puts her life and his life at risk several times without telling him beforehand. As pushing. And then ultimately, when Nick saves her, she's about to pass out and die in the water. He tries to tell her, she doesn't listen. And then she complains to him of like, you let the perp get away. Up until this point, what has Nick done wrong? Like, okay, he's not as serious as he probably needs to be sometimes. But
his thing directing back to the main theme of it, his thing is, hey, not willing to be a hero, just kind of wanting to cocoon up.
Which, fair enough. That's a thing he can work on.
Yeah.
But as far as like dysfunctional relationship goes,
between the two of them,
two of them, what does he have to really apologize for? I mean, if I correct me if I'm wrong, in the very beginning,
yes,
and so I think this is maybe the thing where he's more at fault in their dealings was it Nick's idea to go after the perp in the very first scene of the movie?
The snake? Or
no,
go after
the whole where they mess up everything, the whole
the very first sequence.
The very first sequence.
We just cut right to them in the car already, like pulling over the person. we're that the first scene we get of them,
They're infiltrating the docks. Is my point. It was that Nick's idea or Judy's?
where
I think it was Nick of going like, "Hey, we needed one big break," and so I'm not sure. I just don't remember as well.
So again, the docks. Do you mean the scene where before the reptile's even there?
Yes.
That scene. I definitely remember the first scene that we get is them already there. Because it cuts from the cop explaining, "Hey, here's our case," and then it cuts to them already on the scene.
Yep.
And so we don't get that whose idea it was. I don't think.
Point being of if it is
right.
also Judy's idea, then Nick has really done nothing wrong. If it is Nick, then he's not following the rules.
Sure.
But point being, if it's about a dysfunctional relationship and it basically ends with it's mainly because Nick is not opening up, that's weird. And Judy has one little like brief emotion, like, yes, I pushed myself too hard and blah, 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 blah. And then I also care about you too. And she has that moment, but yeah, it didn't resonate with me.
Yeah, my main gripes with the reptilian and that whole handle. I think I didn't mind that. I think her faults was more. They literally say their faults, in that final sequence of what was there. It's very much told, of course, where she's saying how, hey, she's insecure and projects, and she likes to be so type A, as a way to put it. Just I have to prove something, and that's her insecurities. And his is that he just brushes away emotion and tries to push down, and their dynamic together makes her so domineering. And so they apologize for the respective faults. And
you do get the one scene afterward of her actually letting him talk for once during the interview. So again, it's why I'm not like flawed or anything. It's just kind of a little bit disappointing.
Gotcha.
Didn't land as well as it maybe could have.
I like the character interaction back and forth more than I like the overall thematic thing there. But yeah, I guess when we talk characters, let's get into the weeds now with characters, because we can discuss specific scenes there. I gave characters a 3.5. Good.
I did too. 3.5.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
good characters.
Our main two with Nick and Judy. Do you want to get into specific scenes of what did you like about their characters?
Sure. They just, at the very least, they have unique personalities. They're memorable. What else? What else did I say? I think their dysfunction plays pretty well for the screen. They actually do have some conflicting personalities that makes it difficult to work together. So, believable.
That moment where they pull apart when they're in the mansion, the house at the top of the hill, where that's the first moment when they're climbing up the hill, and there's that pen that the fox has, that Nick has, from the last movie of plays it over and over again. Hey, I'm making fun of the bunny, Judy, and they're struggling, they're fighting over it. But she's like, "Why would you do that right now?" And it falls, breaks, and that also represents to the movie. Look at their relationship currently is in shatters. Symbolism. Oh, and so that breaks. Oh my goodness, what's happening with them? Judy continues to climb. He follows after. Now she's up there finding all of the backstory to, oh my goodness, this is how the snakes were actually the founders of Zootopia, not these, what were they called, that other animal? The Lionels. See, I'm very bad with my species. All right. And as she's discovering all this, Nick comes back up there and they have their confrontation moment. And do you want to get into that scene at all? Or
sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole climactic break scene where they, Nick says, "Hey, this whole case is not worth you dying over." And Judy's like, "What are you talking about? Like, we got to save the people. We got to fight. We're going to be heroes. Like, we got to do what's right." And Nick is just more scared of losing her instead.
And that's what he expresses in the end of, "Hey, it's a fear of losing you, Bunny. I don't.
Yeah,
I want to be more safe. We don't need to do it." So one of the decision came earlier on in the movie too of, hey, do they want to continue going on this mission, or do they want to take the bus with the mafiosa, the polar bears, and the naked mole, not naked mole rat, the guinea pig. God, wow, I can't do. My
know.
animals are so bad.
Some type of mole.
Some type of mole. And when that decision comes, he's from the get-go wanting out. He's like, hey, let's take the safe route. She's like, no, let's not. And she's more, as the large A plot of the story goes, she's in the right of, hey, don't just shy away from this. We need to do what's right.
Yeah.
But
rather than putting it that way as much, it's more manipulated, just like making the decision, and that's her flaw is just kind of pushing it and lying and not. And it's like, oh yeah, if we hey, if we'll go, we don't find we'll quit. Let's just check it out, then we won't actually see it. Or when they infiltrate the Lionel, she says, Nick, hey, we're just investigating, we're keeping watch, we're not going to do anything too much.
Yeah,
and then she's like, nah, she already did. She lied. She's just actually dragging him a little bit at a time. So that's her flaw, is just not actually trusting her partner and just kind of dragging him along.
Yes.
So.
And it works well. Their dynamic works well together. I like the push and pull in this one. Obviously, the first, again, liked a little bit more, but they were standout, like you said, memorable. They are characters you can think back to, and you get their entire personality. It's right there. What did you think of the other main cast? We had the beaver, the snake that were additions.
They existed. They were there.
Okay, one scene I did not like.
You didn't like?
Like. That was part of the characters. Is in that climactic scene where the snake is cold and shriveling, almost dying, and we have Judy as well over there. The snake comes over and saying, hey, you're my best friend, basically. It says that to Judy. I had a C-3PO moment in my head, from Star Wars, where I was going,
oh, yeah.
Did you guys just meet? Okay, just in my head, I was going, how much plot just happened to justify best friend? Does that say something about the snake not having a lot of friends, or is that saying something about...
I think that's most of it. But
I think that's most of it, but still...
I also think it's a reach.
That moment didn't hit for me as much, just because it was a bit of a, you're my best friend ever. I'm going, okay, let's slow down.
Yeah,
that was... It just felt a bit rushed for the snake to get that far in the relationship. Especially comparing to when we see Judy and Fox, Judy and Nick, their characters developing, and then you see this snake. Like, who's this snake that's here?
Yeah,
and then
reptiles.
And here's the thing too. For most of the movie, this is why it didn't make sense. Most of the movie, they're chasing the snake. They're not even with him.
Yeah.
So it's, how can you be best friends after you had the chase scene? We're like, oh, hey, we're on the same team. Run, chase. Okay, now the snake steals the thing back from you. Now you're chasing the snake, and now you meet each other like an hour ago, and now you're best friends. Again, kid movie magic, but still, I was going, all right.
Yeah, I agree.
So snake character did not work. Ki-Hoi Kwan, amazing. Snake character, no. Beaver was an addition.
The Jar Jar Binks of this movie.
Yep.
I think less annoying than Jar Jar Binks, but a little bit of that. So, actually, this is more of a plot thing, but I hate it every time I see it done. I hate the cartoon where you do like a animation where the prison scene and the character can literally fit through the bars. Like the head goes all the way through. Like they're just hanging outside the bars, and they don't just leave that way. That bothers me a lot, like a ton. Like you can animate the bars closer together. It's not that difficult. And the beaver was just like sticking its whole head, the bars were wide open. I didn't like that at all. Same thing with Nick. Nick could also walk out of that thing, but whatever.
No, he actually tried to fit his head through, and he couldn't.
No, the other bars that were thicker, like on the brick, and that was.
Oh, you really paid
outside.
Attention to this?
Oh, I did, because that one was too. So clearly, they can animate bars close together that he couldn't fit his face through. But then the other one, like the one that's facing the hallway, his head was just all the way through. And his shoulders could have fit broadside all the way through these bars. I ain't like that one bit. That annoyed me greatly.
You know what? Fair complaint. I'm not even going to defend. I'm not going to defend, hey, kids movie. It's fine. It's whatever.
No, you can animate the bars closer together.
I can
It's
see
not hard.
if I did push back, you'd blow up right now. So I'm not going to push back. And is it a little ridiculous? Is it? Yeah, but you know what? I'm not going to say that.
It bothers me.
I have those things too.
It looks like a choice.
I have those ticks as well, where I go, oh, you could have just. Why not just change it? You know, just.
Well, the thing is, you have the Bugs Bunny-esque, like Bugs Bunny when he's trapped in some cage and he's like playing with the audience of quite literally sticking his head out and like he's not actually captured, and that's kind of the play. Is like he's pretending to be captured, but that's the point. It's funny. These animals could just fit through the bars. And this one, it's not important. It's not important. I know. It's silly. It bothered me.
You know, it didn't bother me, but it just wasn't that good. Were the antagonists in this movie?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Very much flat, of course. And again, just comparing to the first, where our major antagonist by the end was the
lamb.
The lamb, yes. The lamb who escapes in this movie, almost. Because at the very end, we have
lamb is a child.
Sheep.
So
sheep.
Yeah, the sheep.
You have the mayor lady sheep who, in the first movie, her being the antagonist, it's more entrenched again in the overall theme and being the prey actually being one of the dangerous ones at the end. So that was an interesting angle. This one was just more, hey, they are evil, greedy. They want to push down the snakes in their history and claim it for theirs and expand.
Yeah.
Not much more to them. Yeah.
Allegory. We see.
Yeah.
Are we going to comment on that in the historical? No. That's not what this video is for.
But that's
we see it
character-wise. Well, anything else then for characters? Or I mean, the main reason I say good for the characters is our main two with Nick and Judy are done well. And
the others don't get in the way.
Yeah, they don't draw away from their relationship. Mm-hmm. The others are there for, and obviously I look at the beaver as just more like another fun gag for the movie. I look at any other of the side characters here are just superfluous for the fun, and that's really all they're there for.
Yeah.
The only thing that bothered me that got in the way a little bit was the snake saying that thing to Judy of, all right, let's slow down C-3PO. That's it.
Yeah.
Plot?
Yeah, let's get into it.
What'd you give it out of 5?
3.25. Somewhat good.
I give this 2.75. Somewhat disappointing.
What was disappointing about it for you?
Well, okay, a couple things. One was the main plot driver and the backstory of the villains and the whole history behind why we're in this situation. That A plot was like, pretty disappointing of why the plot is driven. Like, that's our reason. That's our plot point of, hey, why is this all happening? Was
also very ridiculous. And again, it's talking animals in this fantasy animal world. But the context being like, hey, there's this whole reptile area and civilization and one murder and that's it. All of the reptiles are gone. Versus in the first movie, like, mammals have killed prey before. Like, people get arrested. Like, they don't ban all the predators. So it was one snake, and that was kind of a point of the movie. Is like, yeah, if the snakes mess up once, like, it's all snakes. I get it. It was just a little ridiculous.
It's trying to make the point, which gets in the way of the plot. The point supersedes the plot. What they're going for here versus, hey, a snake does this, and all of a sudden, I mean, literally the line in the movie again is, and then the rest of the reptiles were kicked out eventually because of this and discriminated against. Yeah, just fast tracking that because this entire plot in general is just going super quick. But it's that A plot that I was going, all right, the reason we're here is pretty much, it's just kind of tacked on so that we can have a story. That disappointed me. Also, the antagonists and their motivations just being greed. All that stuff, very The good stuff, the more fun stuff is just the scene of, okay, now we're in reptile land, mammal land. We're climbing up the mountain and getting our characters interacting back and forth. All of that, going through the tube and Nick saving her. The in-between moments, the scene to scene, that didn't bother me as much as the reason we're there in those scenes. So I guess it's the goalpost in the end that was the problem more than just, hey, as I'm watching, having fun. Did that stuff bother me? No. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Why somewhat good to you? What would you enjoy?
Mainly the pacing, the scene to scene made sense as they're going. It didn't feel as much like a a fetch quest or just and then we go to here. That it all felt continuous, smooth, logical. It flowed really. I think I was a little bored in the middle, so it's not like, really great or good. But maybe I'm judging it on a curve with kids movie plots. Fine. I looked at the backstory, and I didn't put the Lionel's poor villain status in plot really. But yeah, I get your point.
The something else about the plot here too didn't bother me. Just wanted to point out after the climactic top of the mountain, we defeat almost everybody because the one betrayer gets away. But after that scene happens, and Nick's so out of the loop of what's going on, and Bunny's talking to him, going, "Hey, Gary, and this and that, and we got to go get the thing because the reptiles are actually the ones that found the Zootopia." Like explains everything to Nick, and he goes, "I know what none of that means, but all right." And then as they're going, and she talks to Gary, "All right, Gary, we're going." He goes, "Oh, that's Gary." Yeah,
that was a funny line. I liked that one.
As that's happening, that as far as the plot goes, just shows you how much they just want this plot to move. And hey, you don't need to have a scene where we're sitting down telling Nick, and Nick's going, "All right, convince me to." And also, they just had the emotional scene before that of he's on board.
Yeah.
So that's an example of what we see throughout the movie of just going. I think with
Also, am I reading too much into it that the current mayor, the horse action star, he was installed and is a corrupt mayor? Like, he's installed by the Lionels and has been manipulated by them this whole time. And at the end, when, the chips are down, everything's falling apart, he does fight the Lionels back. Why is he still mayor? Like, he was elected, like, he's still the corrupt mayor that was, like, placed there and did corrupt things.
So the reveal there where the Lionels are talking, the son is saying, "Hey, I was actually on your side. I'm here to destroy the document." And the horse overhears that. And they look at the horse mayor going, "You're not to tell anybody that." What the hell? So it seems like the horse was kind of out of the know for a lot of it. He was a puppet who was put in there just to show face. And they didn't let him know everything. They just kind of moved him as a pawn. And then
I get you.
when he does discover...
But still.
His redemption moment, he does find out, and he goes, "All right, you guys are the bad guys." And I think that's more so what it is. If he does help in the end. That's why I think.
I guess so. I'm just reading too much into it, I guess.
We have to. It's every movie must get the same exact due diligence, and
that's fair.
We must look into all these.
Overanalyze these.
Everything, yes. You know what we should do a movie review on? One of the first movies ever made, like the 7-second films from the early 1900s or late 1800s. How could we make an hour podcast out of that?
Actually, I would love to watch. I watched it a while ago. I think you would enjoy it just because of how weird it is. It's a German movie called M. It's like mostly silent, but it's like subtitles, and it's good.
Okay.
But it's one of the early films of like early filmmaking. Fantastic movie.
Sounds like a tutorial movie review right there.
Is it a fantastic movie? No. Is it fantastic historically speaking? Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
As a piece of history.
It's very interesting.
All right. Anything else for plot? Want to go on to filmmaking?
Let's go on to filmmaking. What'd you give it?
3.5. Good.
I gave it 3.75. I thought it was real pretty. Real pretty, interesting shots. The music was good. All those aspects. Real good.
Thing that bothered me about the music with Shakira's song in there was it sounded so much like her other song. That is how it go. It goes zoo ooh ooh was the song in there, but
yeah.
What I don't know if it's that one, but whatever beat it had, that the verse before we get into the core and the chorus lead up sounded like her other song, but she just changed it slightly to work in this movie. I was going, wait, isn't that the same song? Did you hear that too?
I don't remember the song from the first movie. So,
not the first movie. It's in the
oh,
second movie. It sounds like an actual Shakira song.
I guess I don't know the Shakira song.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Do you remember the zoo ooh ooh that song?
Yeah.
How's it go? Remind me.
Ba-ba-da-da-da-da-hey,
Waka
da-ba-da-
waka
eh,
hey hamina mina hamina mina.
eh,
Welcome to Africa. Well, it sounds like
eh.
that. That's the one it reminds me of.
Yeah, kind of. Okay.
I'm just going, hey, Shakira, put some more effort in. Come on.
I will say, I am always really uncomfortable when Shakira's on. Like it's too weird to me.
When
It's
what?
Shakira the gazelle on. It's
That animation?
I don't like it. It's also just weird hearing Shakira's voice out of it, and it's just how they're like making the gazelle dance. It's like that's Shakira, and it's this weird animal. It's weird. I don't like it.
Feels furry-esque, right?
It's the most furry-esque of this entire film, and I'm like, I don't like it.
You also get the whole Burning Man sequence where the cops are chasing after them in that scene, and you get to see animals in scantalizing clothing.
Thing is, like, I did like that whole thing. It kind of passed with a blur, and for the most part, it's just like they're all animals, and they didn't seem like furryized, but Shakira definitely was, and yeah, I don't like the furry bait. It's not. I don't appreciate it. Don't show furry bait to kids.
Well,
Honestly,
you
just
think
don't
that's
make
what it
furry
was?
bait at all. No, I think it's just like it's Shakira.
Oh.
Shakira dances with her hips. Her hips don't lie, and so the gazelle's got to dance with her hips. She dances like Shakira.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird seeing a gazelle dance like Shakira. I know it is Shakira, but
But what do you like about the filmmaking otherwise? That you didn't like how the bars were too far apart.
yes,
didn't like-
that's my main.
That
complaint.
keeps you from the 5.
That it does.
Otherwise, it's a 5-star film.
A 5-star
If
filmmaking.
it had those bars closer together, flawless.
Other than that, though, animation was really fun,
Yeah.
snappy. All the action scenes were great. So
I like the one sequence that stands out was at the mountaintop. You had the breaking apart of the house, and as it's cracking, you see the sunlight, the dusk approaching, and sunfall, and it was a cool little slow-mo shot. Look how pretty.
Yeah.
That one stuck out to me. It's just fun animation.
I agree.
I think I'm trying to think of another one that stood out. I like the way they used I don't know if tell me if this is filmmaking. I like the way they used the locations we've been to in fun ways of, hey, we know the walruses come out of the water. So when they were escaping and she does the boo 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 noise and they pop their heads out of the water and she jumps. So every action sequence used the surrounding in a fun way. There's a lot more boring ways to do that. You know, they used the locations properly of, hey, that's a fun escape route. That's a
it's
cool
the
thing to
setup
do.
and payoff type of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's more so filmmaking than it is.
Maybe it's plot.
Yeah, maybe plot.
Ish.
But I'm trying to think of I'm trying to pull teeth. Yeah. Anything else with filmmaking?
I liked all the sound. So sound, music, all that's really well done.
All right, dialogue and acting. Would you give it out of a 5?
3.5.
Me too. 3.5. Good.
Judy and Nick did good. They were good in their roles.
Yes.
Gary the Snake, I like, I like the voice actor. I like the actor. I think the snake is not given enough time at all to be as significant of a character. By the end, he really is, and the whole like, oh, you're my best friend.
That still
Judy.
bothered me.
I'm
That's
like,
probably my biggest gripe with the movie.
why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It's like they're just now talking. Like they've just met. They've said maybe 20 words to each other. Come on. Yeah, and then you have Nibbles and Milton. They exist. They're fine. But no, Nick and Judy act the good voice acting in there.
Yeah, definitely good voice acting, and enough lines made me laugh too. We were talking about the traumatic adulthood line. I'm also a fan of puns, and this whole entire movie is just puns with animal stuff.
Yeah,
the Zebros have their line. Hey, we're the Zebros, and
I do like the puns.
That's fun. Anytime they have a chance, whether it's a newscast that pops up or some in-world thing. They always, you could tell the writers have fun with it. And I appreciate that they go, oh, let's actually give some effort into this movie and not just have complete schlop.
I also do want to give credit to, I'm not a big fan of therapy talk in movies, of characters being hyper aware of using therapy words and, you know, the self-diagnosis and all. It annoys me greatly. I don't like it. Like, if you're going to do therapy talk, that should actually be in therapy. In these movies, it comes across as very strange. However, in this movie, it's handled pretty well and mostly played for jokes. I think it works better here than it could have in a different movie. The example being the scene where they're in partner counseling, effectively. The therapy talk is handled by the therapist character, and it's played for a laugh of how dysfunctional they are and kind of like cutting to the heart of the matter. I think that worked pretty well. And then the rest of the dialogue, I think works. I didn't really cringe at any dialogue scene. The only thing that felt maybe a little rushed was the final scene with Judy and Nick apologizing to each other.
Even with that, it's more played for laughs too. If it's serious, but then
it just goes longer
Nick
and
goes,
longer.
She responds. Nick goes, and here's another thing.
Yeah, and she goes, opening up a little more.
And here's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is played for laughs at that point. And so it worked.
Yeah.
So I do want to give it credit. I normally don't like that kind of stuff. It worked here.
It did, yeah. Especially when the point of the movie is them having to console one another and realize that their difference is okay. And we have to be a good team, a good partnership.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It worked. No, I'm with you too. Generally, no. But hey, one, the tone of the movie, it works. Played for more laughs. Also, I felt like it earned that beat as well, because it feels worse if it's unearned. And also, if that whole therapy saying what your problems are out loud seems more ham-fisted on in other ways. You can, there's other movies where they have that similar talk, and maybe even if they play it as a joke, it still feels like the movie didn't do a good enough job to convey that information, so they had to say it. Whereas this, I even feel like if they didn't say that, it was already conveyed very well. I think it was also just making it more clear for the audience. It did not feel like that was in replacement of their characters, where you see in other therapy talk in movies where they have to say it because it's not as clear as being shown. It was like a tell after the show, not a tell don't show.
And it's also not just the, hey, let's just tell everything and give exact detail. It's the hyper awareness of, a character's hyper awareness of their own neuroses and are actually able to articulate it with these very specific clinical words or, therapy talk where it's like, how do they know that? How do they know that it feels alien to the character? Like the dialogue itself will often feel alien. In this one, they at least set up, hey, they went to basically therapy. Judy is at least reading the book on partnerships and
Partnerships for Dummies.
Yeah. So setting up a little bit of why they would use these type of words and why they're thinking in this way is more justified.
On top of that, Nick's character is that he holds back. His entire point is that he doesn't like to divulge and he keeps things to himself. He's a fox. But he wants to be part of a group, but he really has that kind of insecurity, and him literally opening up in the end and spilling that therapy talk is a part of his arc.
Yeah.
Of he has to do that in order to complete his character arc. So it was justified. Yeah, I agree with you. That's a good point. All right. So that's our Zootopia 2 review. Let us know, what did you think of the movie down below? Was it fun? Did you have a good time? Did you have less of a good time? Now that we're over with our rating, I'm going to stick with a 3.25, somewhat good. I think I think it's right there. Yeah.
I think it would be unfair to give it any lower, especially with this is a kid's movie. It's somewhat good. People should go see it. But yeah, I'm just not super wowed by it.
No.
So,
but even through talking about it, there's things that stick out as, I wish it could have been a great movie, but it also could have been a much worse movie. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. Let us know what you think down below. That's another To The Real movie review. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.